Well, hello there, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Star of Rock Wedding Experts. My name is John Schaap from Guys the Radio DJ service. Also around our roundtable, we have Emily Overy from Flowers Plus. We have Seth and Mary Morris from Seth Morris Photography. We have Kelly Champlain from the Sisters Stress Free Planning Team. And Jenny Ralston from Star of Rock Lodge. She is, hold on. Not the she is Sales Director.
SD, that's what we're calling her now.
SD for short. And today we've been covering a whole bunch of different wedding topics on this podcast series, things that can help you kind of plan your special day, maybe find a wedding render you like from some of our comments, or maybe just give you some extra tips to kind of help have the best day possible. We don't care if it's not with us, we just want your wedding to be all it can be. So, like the Army. So our topic this time is expectations versus reality, my Pinterest wedding. And I have a feeling this is going to be fireworks. And I think we're going to start with the girl here to my left, camera right. We're going to start with Emily, because I'm sure you get tons of brides who show up with things they've seen on Pinterest wanting to happen for flowers and decorations for their weddings.
We do. Sometimes it can be a useful tool. Sometimes it, but the reality of it sometimes is you have to have expectations that that may not happen.
Or they may be astronomically priced, correct?
Yeah.
Rein it in. They
Yes.
might have 100 flowers in a bouquet, and their price is normally 3
Right.
flowers in that bouquet.
You know, and most things a lot of times are done either with a photo shoot or, you know, I think of pictures for bridal bouquets. They're either done heavily filtered or maybe shot in June for a December wedding, but then advertised at that. And so those things aren't always a reality. So.
Gotcha. How about from the hall angle? Have you guys encountered Pinterest hangups?
Well, yes, all the time. Not only on decorations, but just table settings in general. Napkin folds and seating 20 people at one table versus it logistically only able to seat 8 all the time. So it's very hard to say no, but if we can do it, we'll do it. A lot of the times it's going to be, I'm sorry, we can't accommodate that.
Yeah. Kelly Champlain from Sisters Stress Free Planning, you probably get some of that too with Sisters. Stress Free Planning is, tell people a little bit more about Sisters for those that don't know. So.
Sisters, we handle setup and cleanup of your wedding. So instead of family coming in or your bridal party coming in, we can handle that for you, as well as day of coordinating. So day of coordinating is we help those timelines along the way and make sure things stay according to plan. We make sure your vendors are staying on course. We make sure that if you have an outdoor venue and it's in the backyard of mom and dad's, we help make sure all the things are going according to plan. One of the things that we see and that I've seen working with this company is a lot of the decor, their expectations of what it should look like. And at times you have to look at the venue, you have to look at lighting, you have to look at what everything is. Pinterest is great, but it can be demise of your wedding, and it's going to stress you out. We don't want that to happen. We're going to do everything we physically possibly can. If you say, hey, we want this to happen, we're going to do it. But there's a lot of times, sometimes it just won't happen.
Well, yeah, you've got experience also running a hall as well, too, so you've
Yes.
seen things from that angle, too.
Yes.
How about for photography? Do you guys have Pinterest? Is that in here? Are you guys, too?
I've kind of nixed the Pinterest. Like, you can send me, I think I have 5 photos you can send me, because I would have people send me boards and this and that, and they would be like all these ones with props. And I was like, do you see any of those photos on our site? No, because we don't do prop photos. We don't do holding an ampersand and we just don't do those kinds of photos. So the first thing I would say about Pinterest is hire vendors who do what you like. Like, use Pinterest to your advantage in that you've pinned things that you like. Now pick a venue, now pick a florist, now pick a photographer who does those things. That those types of things are on their site. Because you can't go to a photographer who has, you know, a candid style and ask them for all artistic photos. Like, they're totally different styles. Or same, I'm sure, with florists. Like, if you want all greenery, like flowy, you know, hipstery looking ones, don't go to like a classic florist who does, you know, clutch bouquets of roses or whatever. I don't know all the lingo, Emily. I suck. But, you know.
You're doing pretty good.
Okay, so if you pick a florist who does those things well, then when you show him or her what you like, then they can tell you, they can guide you. So you've had for your Pinterest board of all the things you like, pick a vendor who does that, and then they can narrow it down because they know what's going to work. And if you hire the right vendors, then Kelly says, nope, I can't do that as a centerpiece in this venue. How about this? And they can kind of guide you into what will actually work in your venue or with your flowers or with your photos, and they can kind of help you to achieve kind of a similar look without that. As far as expectation, yeah, I mean, the pin that went around for a couple of years was this bride in her underwear, garter on, legs crossed, sitting on a bed with her, like, holding her flowers like this by her face. Okay. It's a beautiful picture in a sparkly, clean hotel room with perfect window light. Okay. This is unrealistic for several reasons. Number one, you just had 12 bridesmaids get ready in that room. It's trashed, okay? There's crap everywhere. Number two, you're not in a pretty room. You're in some ugly place, okay? Then you can't get that picture. It doesn't even have a bed. It has an ugly chair. Number three, your flowers aren't there. They're at the church. You don't even have the flowers. So it's like you want this picture, but
that photo
you
at the
have
church,
to,
right?
yeah. Just take your dress off, get your undies right there. Okay. So I think so many people sent me that picture that they wanted that, and then I showed up and they're in, this ugly room, and I'm like, well, where are you gonna send your undies for this picture? Like
Ready.
And so yeah. So I think just like realizing that sometimes, even though that is a beautiful picture, you're gonna have beautiful pictures from your wedding day of you like kissing the flower girl, or something is gonna happen during that getting ready. That is gonna be a moment that you want to happen, even if it's not the Pinterest picture.
It's good to use Pinterest as a good inspiration tool.
For sure.
But not necessarily like nailing it down like, this is my Pinterest.
My wedding.
Yes. Yes.
I think the perfect word for that is inspiration.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And
Yes.
the inspiration, but you have to take the word and advice from the vendors telling you exactly what it's going to look like.
Right.
With your specifics.
Yeah.
I'm going to wave my man card here just because I don't know too much about Pinterest. I think I set up an account once. I don't even know.
All right. Well, Seth does, so
right,
he's got
well,
a
there you
Pinterest.
go.
Call me at.
So here's my question for you, because a lot of these things that people are pinning on Pinterest, are they from businesses that sell this stuff?
Yeah, so you as a business can upload
Yeah.
photos, or anybody can go to like our blog if they see a picture. Like Amber just posted the picture that we took of the girls all wearing their like hiking boots the other day. And so if that was on Pinterest and you went and you clicked on it, it would go to our blog, let's say. So you'd see that I'm the photographer who took it. But any businesses who are selling something, like Emily could load pictures of her specific flowers, and it would go to, once you click on it, it goes to her website. So it does help you find vendors, but you'd have to search specifically for like local.
Well, that's what my thought is with this Pinterest. I mean, if people are, and I'm not trying to take business away from any of us by any means, but look, if you're so dead set on, I want this Pinterest event or this picture to be like this or this flower like this, well then, hey, this is the person you go to.
That's
Right.
true,
We can
except for that.
Use it for inspiration,
Right.
and I'll do what I can. Because
That's true.
I know this because this happens with my wife too, who's also a wedding vendor. She sells invitations and seating charts and happily ever after invites, which she has a desk at Mary May and LaSalle and out of the house. But I mean, she gets people all the time who send her things from Pinterest for invitation ideas, and it's like, well, here's what I can do for you, and I can make something like this, but
Yeah, that's probably more true for something like that if they could get that design, but probably that was just a picture of somebody's photographer took of their wedding invitation, and so they can't figure out where to buy it, so they want her to replicate it.
Sure.
That does happen a lot on Pinterest, and or you fall in love with this photograph that you saw, but that photographer's in California or something like that.
Exactly.
But also, just because you fell in love with that photograph doesn't mean that's what you're going to get, because that photograph was taken by the beach, and hello, it's Illinois.
It's Illinois.
And
There's
you're
snow
getting
on the
married in
ground.
February. So we can go down to the Illinois River and get some carp jumping in the background, but it's not going to be the same feel.
Maybe we should continue this topic on a future episode of differences between photoshopping and non-photoshopping pictures. I'm just saying.
It's true.
So.
But I do
There you
think Pinterest can be really good, especially at the beginning stages when you're starting to narrow down kind of the style that you want, or the feel, or the theme, or
Yeah.
whatever. That
These
kind
two
of stuff.
ladies hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Yep.
That's what it is for.
And we do
Inspiration.
try to use, like, if a bride brings in those items, try to get as close to that as we can,
Sure.
or achieve their Pinterest board for them.
Mhm.
But sometimes they have to have a little bit open mind as well, too.
Not to mention, all of us, in some way, shape, or form, from doing this, we're all some form of an artist in here. So we all have our own styles and our own flairs, and you hired us because you like what we can do. So at least I hope that's why you hired us. And it wasn't just because, hey, well, this is the only one I could find. So we've got there's a kid running around. He's not in the room, JC. Don't worry. You're good. You're good.
He just wants to weigh in. That's all. No big deal.
He's got an idea about it.
So with that in mind, that's going to do it for this edition of the Star of Rock Wedding Experts podcast, part of Guys Not on the Radio, whatever else you want to call us, that's fine. We'll be back with another episode very soon on this same streaming, viewing, listening platform of your choice. Thanks.